Right, the bolts are out and the clutch is ready to come off. One thing I didn't mention was, I didn't use it, but when you're undoing the nuts, they're really tight. So you can jam a screwdriver in there between the teeth and your backing plate of your engine to stop that turning, flywheel turning, so you can undo the nuts. And probably I will use a screwdriver when I do them back up. Right, don't drop it all when it comes apart, because there is a piece in the middle, which is called the pressure plate. And remember which way it comes apart. Flat side normally faces the flywheel, but not always, especially with these new flywheels. There you go, this one says gearbox side, so that's okay. And that obviously sits in there, it's fatter if you put that side towards the engine. Little touch on the bolts and it'll be solid, you won't have any movement at all. Right, have a quick look at the flywheel. Flywheel's mint. It's lovely, nothing wrong with any of that. Not even a lot of dust in there. I'll give that a bit of a clean out with some brake cleaner. Nothing too drastic. Right, quick look at this. If you've got squeaking from your clutch or it's slipping, it means it's probably the friction material is down to the rivets that hold it onto the plate. It's a normal thing, normal wear and tear, and there's a little bit less meat on the pressure plate side, so when they start to grind, normally they grind the pressure plate away first, because you replace that. If your clutch pedal gets hard to press, it's that. If your clutch is slipping, it's that. Or some diaphragm springs broken in that. Right, that's that. If you're putting the same one back in, make sure your springs aren't ready to fall out. They seem alright. I've seen worse. And then what we have to do is put it back up. And you can see that the gearbox input shaft goes through that hole and it gets pinched up, but there's movement. The outer plate sits on dowels, but this moves. So what you have to do is get it lined up dead centre. Otherwise, when you go and put your try and push your gearbox on, it won't happen, and you'll have to unbolt it again and have another go. So I just put this back up. Alright, we'll give it a clean first. I'll be back in a second a bit. Right, give it a little squirt up with brake cleaner to wash the dust off. And now it's ready to go back on. One little thing to mention is you can get finger access in the side. So there's not a lot of room for that plate to be miles out, but it'll be enough to stop you getting the gearbox back on. So I think that plate has got about 0.5 millimetre. I think the plate's 0.5 millimetre less in diameter than the steel pressure pad that it sits on. So I'm going to use that to my advantage when we get it up there. Also, there are tools for aligning clutches, but I found a socket that fits reasonably tightly in the centre, and we're going to use that as well in a minute to help us line it up. Right, stick your head under. That's another tool you don't need to buy. I only ever used one once and it actually took me longer to do the job. Right, that's on the dowels. Put the socket in the hole. Now, first things first, put a couple of bolts in so you don't end up with a pressure plate on your head, because I promise you that will hurt. I've not had one hit me on the head before, but I have had one come off and land on me. Didn't enjoy that at all. Right, okay. Now I think, what I said about putting your fingers in the side, you can triangulate. So I can push that from 3 sides with my finger. Now what I'm doing is pushing so that I can feel the gap around the edge of the pressure plate. A slight gap there. Yeah, so on three sides, according to my feeling my fingertips, I would say that's dead centre. Push that socket in the middle and then look around it and gauge it. Your eyes are more accurate than more accurate than quite a lot of, your eyes are more accurate than the plastic tools you can buy to line these things up, if you take your time and do it properly. Take the socket out, look down the centre and make sure that your splined input shaft of the pressure plate, clutch plate, looks like it's in the middle, dead over the hole in the flywheel, and also the gap around the edge of your springs, so I can put the socket in to help bring it up flush. I would say that that is pretty good. Treble check it with the finger test. Yeah, I would say it's not sagging down the bottom at all. Move that fraction there. Yeah, okay. It's worth spending a few minutes doing that, double checking it, and then when you've got all your bolts in and tightened up, check it again. If you're not happy with it, loosen them off and have another go. Obviously you've got to get it adjusted before you do your bolts up, because you won't when they're up. Right, saves another tenner's worth of tool to buy. A little bit of practice for the eyes and the judgment. But take your time, get it right, get a second opinion. If there's more than one of you doing it, doesn't hurt. And or anything else, any other tools you've got to slide in there, use them. Don't need the alignment tool for it. Right, okay. I'll get this done up, treble check it with my eyes, and then we'll have a go at the gearbox. I'll treble check it myself because I'm doing it on my own, so I only want to have one go at it. I don't want to get it up there, wrestle with it, and then have to get it back down again. That would be upsetting. And I'm already upset. Back in a minute. Bosh! On it goes. Excellent. I did have it lined up then as a result. That could have took a lot longer than that. Right. Okay. So you can do it on your own, obviously with a bit of kit. Could have been done on a jack. Not been easy on a jack. A bit lower down, maybe flat on your back. I've used knee pads before. Right, okay. I'm going to stick some of these little bolts back in. Make sure your gearbox is up flush, top and bottom. That gap, using that bolt with that shoulder meant that it couldn't twist because it would spin around the input shaft. Right, okay. That's that. I won't bother filming all the little nuts and bolts going back up, but I will stick these back in and we'll have a quick skim over the fitting back up sequence. So once you've got your gearbox on, get your bolts in that way. Don't tighten them up. Get all of them started before you tighten them up. Otherwise you may not get them all started, including the top ones. Get them all in and started, wound up but not tight. When you've got them all in, then go around them tight. And then the next job is to get it lifted back up, supported on the engine, on the gearbox mount. Yeah, and then the jack or the crane can come away and you can get around the whole thing and start fitting all the bits and bobs back up. So I'll do that first, get all the bolts in, and then we'll come back in a sec.